Good morning from London Heathrow, where today I'll be flying in British Airways First Class on board their Airbus A380 aircraft. Hello YouTube travelers, and welcome to the Gentleman of Fortune channel. Join me on my travels around the world, and together we'll review the latest in flight and lounge offerings, find out how various airlines' first and business class products stack up, sample their catering, and indulge in their finest champagnes. Together we'll experience the best of the best, and maybe some more obscure ones too. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. And now I invite you to sit back and relax as we get this next adventure underway. Now before boarding today, I'm fortunate enough that I get to spend some time in the famed Concorde Room, which is British Airways' flagship first-class lounge. Aviation buffs will be enthralled with the historical artifacts which are on display throughout the lounge, many of which are from the namesake Concorde era. As an example, here's an actual nose cone from the supersonic jet. Having explored around the lounge, it's now time to take advantage of their a la carte breakfast. Here's a look at their morning offerings. I elected to go with the ham hock eggs benedict, which was tasty, but truth be told was also a bit too salty. After a nice breakfast, I decided to step out onto the lounge's terrace, which has a commanding view over Terminal 5 as well as all of the tarmac area. This is a great vantage point for watching planes, but they're almost exclusively British Airways here. One of the high points of the Concorde Room is the bar, which forms a focal point. I elected to try a breakfast martini made with English marmalade. There are also dining options available at the bar. You can select from lighter options or from the full lunch menu. You can enjoy your meal anywhere in the lounge, but I elected to take mine in the dining area. I started with the smoked salmon, and then for the main, I had the Concorde burger. I presume that should be enough to tide me over until I board the flight. After leaving the lounge, I had to take the small train over to my boarding gate. The gate area wasn't really large enough to accommodate even a 777, so as you can imagine, with an Airbus A380 worth of passengers, it was mobbed. This created a rather unpleasant boarding experience. Now that I've survived the melee and made it onto the plane, let's have a look at my suite, which is 1A. The seat itself isn't especially wide, but the first thing that jumps out to me is the crooked antimacassar, which just strikes me as sloppy. The personal TV is kind of small and dated. It must be stowed for taxi, takeoff, and landing. On the side of this tray table hutch, you've got the controls for the seat, as well as some of the lighting controls. Inside this container here, you've got the remote for the TV, as well as power outlets and USB plugs. Shortly after settling in, I was brought a glass of Laurent Perrier Grand Siècle and the Temperley branded amenity kit for first class. Additionally, they brought me a pair of pajamas, which were also by Temperley. As well as a very nice pair of slippers. Down on this ottoman from the time I arrived is also a pair of headphones, as well as a blanket. So now I've jetted off to the washroom to change into my pajamas. But my first impression is that for an Airbus A380 with all this space, it's pretty uninspired. To be honest, there's not even that much room to move around in here. The only attempted upgraded features that I can see are these toiletries from Elemis and Hensley. Now that I'm back at the seat, let's have a look at the tray table. It's not very wide, but quite deep, and theoretically can be used to have a guest join you for dining. Now we have a space that allows us to take a look at the contents of the amenity kit. First, we have a generously sized eye mask. I actually think this is going to be my go-to mask for the moment because it's so large. We've also got a dental kit, a small tube of LMS branded shave gel, some LMS deodorant, a little package of tissues, some Pro Collagen marine cream for men, a little tube of eye reviver, this LMS rehydrating ginseng facial wipe, there's also this pair of socks with a fancy paper twine bow, a comb, a little container with a pair of earplugs in it, a BA First branded pen. This actually has a little rubber nub on it, so you can use it as a stylus for your tablet. Oh, and of course we've got some lip balm in here. And last up we've got the promotional card. It's actually a pretty nice kit, and I quite like the bag. Here's a look at the promotional card, which features discount codes for LMS and Temperley. Now that we've seen the contents of the amenity kit, here's a look at the noise-canceling headphones they provide you in first class, which are made by the brand Meridian. The last couple of things to look at around the suite before we take off is this footrest, which turns into an ottoman for guest dining. And you have a little closet space here on the side of the seat. On our taxi out, we followed this American Airlines Boeing 787 to the runway. British Airways and American Airlines are both part of the One World Alliance, meaning that you can earn and redeem American Airlines miles on British Airways, or vice versa, if you prefer British Airways Avios. After several minutes waiting in the queue, it was finally our time for takeoff. Now, I was actually fairly tired, so I elected to have them make the bed immediately after takeoff. With the duvet and mattress pad, it's quite comfy, and I was able to get several hours sleep. When I woke up, I enjoyed a gin and tonic and some mixed nuts while I waited for them to prepare my lunch. Here's a look at the British Airways First Class dining menu, which also features their champagne, wines, cocktails, and soft drinks lists. If you need more time to read any of the menu sections, feel free to pause the video. Or if you're more interested in seeing the video of what I ate, you can jump ahead to the 10-minute 15-second point. I began my meal with the poached prawns. I really like the china they use. It's simple yet elegant, and if you'll recall, it's the same as that used in the lounge. And for the entree, I had the rack of lamb, which was very nice. I also rather enjoyed the side dish that came with it, which was potatoes au gratin. Unfortunately, none of the desserts that I was interested in were available any longer, but they did manage to produce this. I finished off the meal service with a nice cup of tea. After my dinner, I went for a little exploratory scout about the aircraft. Sadly, unlike on some other carriers, this grand staircase doesn't lead anywhere interesting. There's not even a bar or waterfall up there. Throughout the rest of the flight, I indulged in some Lindor chocolates and some Johnny Walker Blue, while I enjoyed the in-flight entertainment. While I wasn't that impressed with their movie selection, they did have some terrific historical videos from the days of Imperial Airways and BOAC. Just prior to landing, there was time for one more light meal or snack. I wasn't starving, as it hadn't been that long since I had last eaten, so I just went for a plate of prosciutto. Not long after that, we landed in Miami. Close to on time, too, which wasn't too bad considering that we were more than an hour delayed for mechanical issues on the ground in London. Overall, this flight was pretty good, but next time I don't think I'd go out of my way to fly the A380. On the Boeing 787, for example, the cabin is a little bit more intimate with less seats, and I think that lends itself to better service. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that if you did, you'll consider subscribing and leaving a like. Don't forget to hit that notification bell either, so you'll be notified every time there's a new video posted. And as always, until the next video, I wish you safe travels.